Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So it is 5:05 a.m. in Jamaica, in Kingston, Jamaica. I'm still up, not asleep. So someone had asked me, I'd put a post on my community tab, giving you guys the opportunity to ask me questions or things you would like to know, like what is going on with the hurricane, etc., etc., etc. But someone asks a very good question, like they would like to know what's going on with my health and the healthcare system here in Jamaica. And I'm happy to oblige. Now, as it relates to my health, I have Graves' disease. I've been living with it for about 13 years now. And for the past, I would say maybe 2 years, it has been super challenging. It has been the toughest for me because, like, I've experienced things with this disease that I never thought was a part of it. Like, last year, I was here and I noticed I was very sick, very low in energy, could hardly breathe. And then I was trying to make my bed and I could not make my bed. So called my daughter to take me to the hospital, and they did some tests really quick. They found out that my heart started failing because I had fluid in my lungs. The left artery was enlarged at the time. Thanks to God, all of that has been healed and everything is normal. My heart is normal, thanks to God. But normally, when people develop like some heart problems with Graves' disease, sometimes it is reversed. Oftentimes, most times. But what Graves' disease does, it can weaken the heart muscles and stuff. It can do a lot to your body. So if you notice, I have a goiter here at my neck, but I don't know why it's getting big again, because it was small. I don't know if it's because I'm messing around with coffee again, or I used to take a particular supplement, but I'm out of it at this point. So it could be that it's because I'm out of the supplement, because I would do like vitamin C, magnesium, and zinc. And I noticed that does help quite a lot. So with Graves' disease, for me, one of the major thing is low energy. Low energy. Like I used to be this hyperactive person. Like I would spring clean every week. I'm still kinda, but I used to spring clean every week, like literally spring clean. And I love when my space is neat, organized. Like my daughter would say, I love when my house looks like no one lives there, and it's true. That's why I love it. I love things in order. I love things organized. But because of Graves' disease, oftentimes I don't have the energy to do, the physical chores. My energy is so low that I just can't be bothered. And then, after having Graves' disease for a number of years, I started developing hives. So hives is basically swelling of the skin, but as time passes, I notice my hives get worse. So it's chronic. And as such, I am on steroids for the hives. I've been on steroids for a period of years, which no one should be on for so long. But it's either that or death, because I'm allergic to maybe 95% of stuff. They're not sure what is causing the allergies, but they want me to do a test where they stick the needles in your skin. So So they are gonna like dip the needles in different like chemical components to see if they can identify like a particular chemical component that I'm allergic to. But the test is very expensive. And at the time when they recommended for me to do the test, that was the time when I started having the problem with the fluid in my lungs, my heart, and everything. So ever since last year, that time I haven't been quite myself, because what has been happening is that I was seeing an endocrinologist that was very costly, and I moved to a apartment that doesn't give you privacy. No one here minds their own business. I could be on the phone talking to someone, and once they hear my phone ring, I'm not talking to the person on the phone, I'm talking to them, and they'll come under a window that's here, or if I'm in the living room, they'll come close to the window. It is so disgusting. Like, even the kids do it, and even big people, send their kids to listen to what I'm talking about. And there was a boy here that used to stalk me. Stalk, watch me around the clock. And I reported him to the landlord. So he started doing it out of the eyes of the camera where the landlord couldn't see him. So, but I have a bit of sixth sense. It's true. I have a bit of sixth sense. Like, I'm very intuitive, and my IQ is kinda higher than the average citizen. But because of the thyroid disease and because of the steroids, my brain function, I have brain fog sometimes. And because I have insomnia as well, I have brain fog sometimes. But I'm a smart cookie. Let's put it like that. Yeah, I'm a very smart cookie. But sometimes my mind is just so lazy. My thought process is not all there, because they've advised me that it's the steroids that is doing it to me. Because, when I said to the endocrinologist that I'm normally sharp, what's going on? And they said, the thyroid is one thing, but we think it's mostly the steroids. So what I'll do sometimes is just meditate, like deep breaths in, deep breaths out, try to clear my mind, leave the pipe dripping, and just try to focus on listening to the dripping sound of the pipe to try and balance my focus. What else? I'm a mommy. I'm a mommy to a pretty little girl. She's very feisty, but she's so pretty. You would not believe, she is drop dead gorgeous. And not only is she drop dead gorgeous, listen, I have a little girl that is so blessed, but people normally picks on her because she's pretty and she's perfect in body and she's a smart little cookie as well. So because of that, she gets picked on a lot, but she's very smart, but she's spoiled. She's a spoiled rotten. And it's partially my fault. If you have your only child, please don't spoil them, because as they get older, they don't know how to get older. They feel as though, even if they're working, they feel as though you should still be taking care of them. And if you tell them no, you don't like them. Like, if I had known better, I wouldn't have spoiled her so much. I spoiled her too much. Her grandmother spoiled her as well. So everyone spoiled her, so she's very spoiled. But other than that, she's a sweet little girl. Very, very sweet little girl. But she's feisty. She's very feisty. She's a firecracker. And she's very sensitive about her mommy. Very sensitive. She's highly protective of me. Right? Very slow to anger. But she's not. She's not. So, I mentioned that I used to be stalked. Yes, I remember mentioning that, and I said I reported it to the landlord. And when I did, the young man that used to do it, he started doing it out of the eyes of the camera. And then I had to be telling everyone on the apartment that this guy is stalking me. And then everyone was watching him. And he left. And that was it. So as it relates to my health now, so I take medications, and the medication can vary because sometimes my thyroid levels are high. And when it is high, it is called hyperthyroid. And when it's low, which means that it's underactive, it's called hypo. So HYPER when it's high, HYPO when it's low. No, the doctors, they prefer when it's low because they say that's the one that really doesn't bother the heart and it gives the less trouble. And you only need 1 pill per day. And they said that, when your thyroid gland is removed, you only take 1 pill per day for the rest of your life. So what they are focusing on is getting my thyroid levels so they can remove the thyroid gland. Now, when it's hyper, sometimes I overthink. Sometimes I'm extremely sensitive. Sometimes I'm extremely frustrated, like fatigue, And sometimes I get very angry too, But I know how I'm really, really good at controlling my anger. If I get out at someone, you best believe they deserve it. And when it's high, I take neomercazole. So I will take maybe, it depends. So it can just be 20 milligrams of neomercazole per day. And I take propranolol, and that is to control my heartbeat because my heart would just be palpitating. So the propranolol, they have increased it because I used to just take like 10 milligrams once or twice per day. But ever since I'm now getting treated by the endocrinology team at the hospital, and I'm no longer going to the private endocrinologist because I cannot afford it anymore. And because I couldn't afford it anymore, that is what almost killed me. And because I don't know why I wasn't going to the hospital, I don't know why I didn't join the clinic. But anywho, the doctors were like, give us a chance to work with you and we'll take care of you. And they've been doing that. So now I take 12 propranolol per day. And each one is 10 milligrams each. And I used to just take 10 milligrams, So I have to take 6 propranolol in the morning and 6 in the night. And for the neomercazole or carbimazole, no, I am on 20 milligrams 3 times a day. But there are times when I only need 20 milligrams 2 times per day. As it relates to the healthcare system here in Jamaica, healthcare is partially free. I wouldn't say it's entirely free, it's partially free. No. There are hospitals that you go to, you get treated, and you get all the service, you get to use all the services and the equipments of the hospital. You get to see all the specialists. You get all your medication, no matter how much it costs, $100,000, $200,000. And all of that is free because my father has cancer and he goes to the hospital. That is free. So his urinologist visit, it's completely free. His pressure medication, free. His cancer medication, free is eye medication free. For me, I don't like the hospital that side of town. I don't like down there. But there are times when I'll, follow my father there, and he knows that I don't like it down there. And that's where you call downtown Kingston. I don't like it down there. People say I'm an uptown girl, so be it. I don't like it down there. Clothes are cheaper down there. Shoes are cheaper down there. And that's where Coronation Market is, and people go and they buy at the markets. But whatever I need, you ain't catching me down there. I'm not going down there because it's hot, and because of the Graves' disease, I have heat sensitivity. So my father knows this. So sometimes he doesn't even bother. Sometimes, when he's coming from the country to the clinic, he would take stuff for me. And sometimes I'd call him and say, no, it's okay. He just knows I don't like downtown. So my family, they call me a white girl because I'm just different. And I see life different. And I'm slow to anger. And they are a bunch of Jezebels. I'm not kidding. They're a bunch of Jezebels. But I'm more peaceful, and because I'm peaceful, they say, oh, you're too stupid, you're too soft, you're too this, you're too that. Like, a lot of things, I don't see the sense. Like, I don't see the sense in arguing with people sometimes. So sometimes people will be telling me stuff, and I'm like, oh, whatever. Like, I don't see the sense to give you my energy. Why should I give you my energy? I don't care about you. I don't care about you. And if I'm gonna answer you, it's just to taunt you. And when I answer you, you may not even know how to respond. So, that's just me. But my father attends a free clinic, and I don't. I attend the clinic at UWI Hospital, which is University of the West Indies. So when you go there, you don't pay, I would pay $10,000 to see the endocrinologist. But when I go to, and we're talking about Jamaican dollars, but when I go to UWI to see the endocrinologist there, it's a lot of people, but the space is a big space, and they have nice seats available. The area is temperature controlled because they know that we can't stand the heat. So they ensure that the area is temperature controlled, and everyone at that clinic behaves. They're quiet and like decent people, right? So I paid $1,200, for the visit. And then, for the prescription, my prescription is partially covered by the government because the hospital that I go to, it's not a public hospital, but that hospital is a subsidiary of the government, so you don't pay full fee for anything. The government pays a partial amount. But that hospital it is still expensive, but it has all the specialists, the machines and stuff. So you don't get the medication free there. You have to pay for it, but it's just that you don't pay the full cost. I have what is called the National Health Fund card. Yeah. Which is the subsidiary card from the subsidiary card from the government. It's like a health card, and you take it to the pharmacy, they swipe it, and you pay a portion for the medication. So for my medication, it's about, with the steroids and everything, for the month, about 40,000 Jamaican dollars if I'm to buy cash, but I don't pay that anymore. I used to have to pay that plus $10,000 for my medical visit, and that would be like every couple of weeks, but I don't spend that much anymore, thank God. So now, when I go to the pharmacy, sometimes maybe $5,000 or $8,000, and that will be for the month. So, yeah, that's the healthcare system here. Yeah, we have, there are other hospitals as well. There are other hospitals. There are quite a few hospitals in Jamaica, but I go to UE. Yeah, and that's it. That's basically it. So there are, like, for UE, though, when you go to UE, you have to pay for your labs. You have to pay for, if you have to do a ultrasound and everything, you have to pay for those things. So I don't like, you don't have to have the money on you right away. You can ask them to bill you for maybe 80 or 90% of things, but you can't ask them to bill you for your prescription though. Like the prescription at the pharmacy, it is discounted already. So whatever your portion is, you just pay that up front. But a pharmacist recently told me how I could update the card for the government to cover more so that I can pay less. And I'm gonna do it. If it wasn't for the hurricane, it would have been done. But, I don't know what the medical system is like now, because know that the western end of the island is like a disaster zone. I know they're gonna take people from this end to help out on that end while still trying to have this end in operation. So it's going to be a challenge. So I don't know what the medical system is like since the hurricane, but I haven't heard anyone saying anything or, so I think everything is okay. But as it relates to the healthcare system, that's how it works. There are hospitals here that are 100% free. And when you go to those hospitals that are 100% free, when you get your prescription, you just take your prescription to the pharmacy, and that pharmacy is called Drug Serve, and you get your medication 100% free as well. But that is only for Jamaicans, because sometimes I see tourists having a fit, creating a fuss in the hospitals when they hear that they have to pay, because the free healthcare is only for citizens. So some of them, they really don't like it. However, if you migrate to Jamaica, which there are so many Americans migrating to Jamaica. My God, when I tell you there are so many Americans migrating here, and it's not just Americans, but the batch of the people that are migrating here, the huge bulk are Americans. And when I tell you, it causes the cost of living to go up, cost of housing to increase, the cost of grocery to increase. And because of the hurricane now, the government has sent out a strong warning. No price increase. And he's watching them like a hawk, because this government he has been very good to the people. He has been able to reduce the crime rate by 50%. Yeah. So even places that were volatile are no longer volatile. Jamaica is a lot more peaceful. And, they have improved, this new government, they have improved the healthcare system so much, so much. It's like, wow, it's impressive. But people will still complain about it. People still complain because no matter how much you give, you know that there's always someone who is always unhappy about something or unhappy with something, right? But that's it for me and my Graves' disease. And because of Graves' disease, I'll have maybe 4 different complexion for the year. I'm not kidding. I'll have 4 different complexion in 1 year. And oftentimes people think that I'm bleaching my skin, and that's the frustrating part. But that part is so frustrating because, like, if I go to the country to visit my dad, people would say, "Oh, she bleach her skin." And I hear them talking about me, and I just laugh because I know it's not true. I'm not bleaching my skin because sometimes what will happen, like if I go to the hospital and they may see like anything funny with my heart, I'll start getting like stats medication, like blood thinners. And if I'm in the hospital this is something that I've observed. The last time when I was in the hospital for a little bit over a week, when I came out of the hospital, everything on me was baby soft. And I was wondering why the hell, like I have soft skin, but eventually when I came out of the hospital, everything was baby soft. Like my skin was so pretty. My palms, like I realized it was the blood thinners because the blood thinners basically thin your blood, helps it to move faster through your system. It's cleansing the liver and everything. So the blood thinners. And then it also makes you look lighter, a bit pale as well. So I'll have 4 different complexion for the year. Absolutely kid you not. And there'll be a time that my face is extremely dark. And when that happens, I know it's the Graves' disease and the levels are really high. And then too, I have, skin issues. I have hyperpigmentation outside of that. And I have the hives, the allergies, because as you can see some spot here. So that is one summer when it got really, really hot. It was so hot. And at that time, I didn't have AC and I woke up with just like some stuff like, I don't even know how to classify it. It was like boils because it was so hot. And I had to go to the hospital and they were like, it's because of the hives and my sensitive skin and stuff. So I have AC now. Sometimes I don't know how I'm going to pay the bill, but when I get hot, I still use it. And there are times when people will be cool. The day will be cool, but I'm hot, So there are times when my body temperature is just not regulating as it should. And because I'm on steroids and, steroids suppresses the immune system, sometimes my immune system doesn't do what it's supposed to do. And there are times when I feel like I have a fever, but the fever is, that fever feeling is more inside and I'm not warm to touch on the outside, So that's a thing. But I do stuff to help myself. I walk like 8 to 10 miles and I try to do that at least 3 times each day. But I want to get more active in the gym. Have you guys seen Kayla Nicole clap that video? Taylor Swift? Honey, I want the body. I want the body. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to start going to the gym. I'm not going to go every day though, because I remember at one point in my life, I was a gym junkie and it was a good feeling, but I realized that it can be like a form of addiction and I don't want that. So I want to go maybe 3 or 4 days each week to work out. So that's just it. Not just it about my health and, the healthcare system here. It's good. Could be better, but it's really good. It's really, really good. They have come a very, very long way. And guess what? Since the new government, the mortality rate is down. More people are living longer in Jamaica, even people with illnesses. And we are outperforming even first world countries. So we have been doing good, but this storm is going to give us a little setback. But we are a resilient set of people and we're going to come back. And that's all. Any other questions?